Hello everybody and welcome to Loot Rascals. This is a game by Hollow Ponds, and we're going to do a little playthrough of it. I do want to say real quick that I did receive a code for the game from the developers for the purposes of doing a little review and playthrough of it on the channel. And I don't want that to skew my opinion of the game in any way, and I will say what I like and what I don't like about the game as I play, just to show it to you guys. But I do think that there is something special here. It's kind of a mix between a game like Isaac and a game like Hearthstone. And you're going to see real quick what I mean when we hop into a standard game. There's 4 different games that you can do. You can start from any area that you save the practice deck at for the practice game. You can do a seeded one if you want to replay a specific game. I'll give you the seed of my run if you want to try that one. The daily, so they have daily challenges as well, and then just the standard experience. So we're going to hop right into the standard experience, and I'll explain what's going on here. So we're this guy. He's pretty cool, right? Sure. The artwork in this game is something that you either really love, or you're just kind of like, man, it's a little weird. For me, it's a little weird, but I'm getting used to it, and I'm finding some charm in it. In its own way, I suppose. So from this first screen, there's a lot of things to take in. You got a mini map in the top right, you got some stuff in the top left, and then you also have a bunch of suns and a bunch of moons, and then it says that something's coming in 100 or 250 turns. Let's talk through everything. So obviously you have the map, that'll just show you where you're at, and then on the board, we have all of the turns of the game are determined from these hexagons. So we can walk up, and you're going to see that our turn count goes down, and then our sun goes up. So there's 10 turns in a day, is I guess the best way of putting it. 5 in the, morning / day, and then 5 in the nighttime. So you can see that as we walk around, it's now the end of day, so the next move, it's going to turn to night. And you're probably like, Tyler, this is irrelevant. We have no idea what's going on anyway. Let me explain, okay? So enemies, and you'll see shortly, like that guy, in the nighttime, he's going to attack. But in the daytime, he's going to defend. So this is then the best time for us to go and attack this guy. When you step on a spot, you'll attack him. And since he was defending, we were able to defeat him. Okay, Tyler, so how the hell do you attack? Well, there's a lot of things to talk about here. We just picked up a card by pressing E. And that allows us to, next time, go into this guy's just explaining that anybody, when it changes from day to night, anybody that attacks first goes to defend, and vice versa, which is very useful to know. So then how do you do damage? This is the most valuable part of the game, and probably the coolest aspect of the game out here. So when you press spacebar, you go into your HUD, and this is where you can store all of your cards. So right now, you start with 6 cards right off the bat, 3 that are attack cards, 3 that are defensive cards. The initial cards really do not have any special statistics. You can just see that each of them is 1 offense. The orange ones are offense, blue ones are defense. Each have 1s alongside here, and you can see that in the top we have 3 attack and 3 defense. So it adds up just like this. So every time you kill an enemy, there's a chance of them dropping another card for you. So now we have Space Shorts, and this is just a basic defensive card that's going to add a +1 to our defense, which is kind of cool here. You also have, press space to get out of your HUD. If you want the seed, there you go, 241106944 to play alongside on this one. But you also have health. You can get hit by the enemies, and then you also have the dome. And the dome, this explains how attacking works. So if a guy has 20 attack, I do 8 attack, he'll have 12. And there's just some other stuff that is explained through here that I'll try to explain as we go on. You have the chef. He tries to, if you can find this card on the floor, he'll give you some cool stuff. We can regenerate health here for tokens. We can examine our mailbox and get mail from people, get a tip from this guy, and then set some decks with them. We'll worry more about that in the future. I want to just get into the gameplay here. So it is a turn-based game, and I think that that's the part that just confuses me the most with this game, and it's not a confusion in a bad way. So Ogron attacks at night, so we'll try to get some turns going until he's ready to go, and then we should be able to just knock him out here. So since his attack was not as good as my defense, we were able to block his attack and then knock him out. So we got some Wooks here. We got lucky because they damage first. and not attack, not defend first. But since our defense is so good and his attack is 1, it was a very low chance of us getting hit. We do have another card, so we will loot that bad boy if I can actually press the right key. And then we'll add this guy onto our deck. So now, this is where things get a little bit interesting. So this card has a special stat that says only 1 plus 1. If you only have 1 armband, and this is the only armband, then you're going to get an extra defense onto this card. Obviously, we have 2 other armbands, so I suppose if we take these out, then this guy will become activated, and we essentially will have, I think, still the same amount of defense as we would have before. So there's really no reason to not have these in, because the one from here will actually add 5 to it. So we're going to keep that in for now. If we can find a way to get... So now we can attack these guys. If we can find a way to get some ways to get rid of these armbands and replace them with better stuff, that would be great. So here's another special card, Self-Throw Disc. If it's in an even slot, then you're going to get a +1 on damage. And this is in slot 4 right there. So we're good, and that is an even slot. We're going to get a +1 damage, and we're up to 5. So you can see how you're going to like gradually progress through this game in a very unique fashion. You got to constantly be checking your cards, making sure that you're getting all the right stuff. So we got a +2 defense here. This is the best time to just knock out one of these armbands. And if we can knock out one more of them, then we're going to be sitting real pretty and getting our increase from that guy. I got to stop pressing escape every time I go through here. So knock out the Wook. The one thing I will say, you're probably like, damn Tyler, this game looks pretty easy right now. Like, what's the challenge? You're going to see real quick, the difficulty of this game spirals out of control really quickly. So you can see we're going to be able to knock out all these guys. Wook wants a piece of us, and I really do not want a piece of him right now. So we're just going to make sure that we can knock him out. But you will think that you're doing great, and then all of a sudden, the entire world caves in on you. The difficulty spike in this game is large. I've played for about an hour, and I have not gotten past the first floor of this game. Maybe I'm just bad, but how people have talked about it on the Steam Workshop, by Steam Workshop I definitely just mean Steam page, is that this game is just, it's got a high difficulty curve. And that's probably like one thing that I don't necessarily love about it, is just how hard it initially is, but it's rewarding when you get some good stuff going. So this is another interesting card. It basically allows us to spend a token to warp to a random tile. So what we can do is turn this card into tokens, because we really don't need it anymore. And you can also do more defensive if you want to have more defense, but I tend to be more offensive in every game that I ever play. So we're just going to turn this guy into a token, and then this card says you can spend a token to warp to a random tile. So if we wanted, we could try to warp to a random tile down here and see what happens. I'm going to abstain from doing that right now, as we seem to have a pretty okay approach going on right now. But we will pick up one more card. We'll check that in a second. I want to knock out one of these whiskers. Beautiful. See if he drops any cards. He doesn't. I want to be a little bit cautious here. We also have to completely backtrack and go this way, which is slightly unfortunate, but we can keep on it. Okay, apparently we're not going that way either. Now, that weird thing in the bottom left is actually a spawner, and it's going to spawn these clunkers repeatedly, which is very frustrating and also very annoying. But that's just another thing that the game's going to do to you. Where the hell are we supposed to go? Excuse me, we got to go up here. Gotcha. That'll do it. Now, there is a area at the end of every level that is essentially your exit zone. So the goal is to go find the exit zone, and I think that this might be it. That red portal. I remember seeing it in the tutorial, but I don't quite remember right now exactly what it looks like. We do have some more cards. Let's look at these. So this guy, if it has a card below it, then a +1. So let's put it right there. It does have a card below, so we're good. And then we don't have any other bibs. So this will be a beautiful defense up, and since we got rid of this guy, now this is a defense up, and we can turn both of these into tokens for us to use. And if you don't remember what tokens do, we can use tokens to... Let's try to fight this guy. This is going to be a tough fight. Yeah, he's going to actually just wreck us. So that was a horrible idea. And now we are very dead. So I'm glad that that went well. There's your first run of freaking Loot Rascals. God dang it. So we died. And we're going to get a stupid cutscene here. Basically, it says we died. And I'm just going to skip over this. If you really want to see the cutscenes, then I'll show them in a future thing. But for right now, time to just restart this run. And everything is randomly generated, so you're going to get a unique... Oh, damn. Oh, we took a hit right there. But we can find a way to get HP in the future. If this is on the bottom row... this is another interesting card. We'll talk about that in a second. There's some cards that are reversible, so you can rotate them by right-clicking, and it can basically be a defensive or offensive card. So we're going to stick with the offensive right now, I think. I think that might be slightly better for some of these enemies. Because if we can attack early first, then we will... That was bad. HP is definitely a problem right now, and now I've done it. That's one thing that you can run into in this game. We're low on health. Yeah, we can spend tokens at the health machine. That's one thing that I've run into in this game is if you don't play methodical and strategize a little bit, you're going to get screwed. And right there was a good example of me just not really paying attention, rushing into a new zone. So that guy up there is trying to fire shots. Okay, that gave us an HP back, maybe? Or maybe it's just saying that we're on 1 heart. Now, that guy's just spawning more enemies for us. He's very unkind, honestly. But that's okay. Let's try to sneak up here. We can warp back to the hub at any time and try to spend our hard-earned cash. I think there's the boss. So we found that relatively quickly here. Klumper wants a piece of us right now. And I do not want a piece of him. Let's try to grab this card. Daylight Flipper. Spend a token to flip day and night. Could actually be incredibly useful. I think that that's a pretty valuable card to have. And we died. Oh, like I said, difficulty curve, very high. Let's try another one. I'd like to maybe try to make it to the first floor today. Is that too much to ask? Probably. We haven't even gotten one of the super dope special effects yet. Because there's some special effects that you can get that we will be picking up that card shortly. I just want to try to knock out all these wooks that I can while we're still good. Okay, Rat Stack. He did 1 damage to us. That's okay. We have a bunch of offensive cards. So if there's a card to the right, then do damage. There is. So odd slot, bottom row. Beautiful. If you have one that's in red, that means that if that condition occurs, then you're getting negative penalties here. Abilities charge fast. So we don't have any abilities yet. That's what I'm talking about. But this setup on damage is looking freaking amazing so far. So hopefully we can get... Oh, okay, thank God for the block. Hopefully we can get some good stuff going here. I'm scared as hell for going in there. That just looks like a horrible time. Maybe we can, like, peek in and knock out this guy. So there's another special card. I really do not want to even think about going over and talking to Ace the Lucky. That guy's got, like, 45 hearts. That just seems like a horrible time for me. But let's, oh, thank God that was a block. We will... I'll show you guys shortly this special card. Let's do it right now. So come in here. So this is a card that gives a spectral ability. So when charged up, you'll be able to create spectral decoys. So we'll just throw this onto a card like this, because this is an ability anyway. So I think that that's pretty okay. And then we don't have another card, so just throw that guy in there. So now we'll be able to send out a taunt. It's one of our special abilities down here, and you can hold a bunch of them. So we can say, like, you know, put a taunt over there. And now these guys are all going to gravitate towards going over and fighting that guy instead of me. We got the Egg General. Insert a Northern Lion joke here, those of you that are Isaac fans. But that's okay. We got some more cards. It's a defensive. We do need more defensive, I think. So let's put this guy right here. Yeah, I think that that's all we should do there. So cards to the left and right gain a +1, so that's awesome. You know what? I think we're going to try and keep ourselves balanced. Like I said, I don't know what the best approach is quite yet for playing here. But I think that it might be in our best interest to try to stay as equal on stats as we can. So there is a card here. Plus we'll fight the Wook. So we got top row. This gets a +2. That's really good. So now defense is doing great. Let's throw back in an offense down here. And now that's looking pretty okay. Let's just melt down these guys. And I'm not particularly against running back to home base, popping into the dome, and spending our tokens to get full HP. I think that that's an acceptable thing to do. It's not something that I necessarily always want to do, because, you know, losing, that was just a bad play by me. Losing the ability to use tokens for other stuff seems very bad. You know, you don't want to ever have it where you're spending... It's like greed mode in Isaac, for those that are familiar. You never want to be spending your hard-earned money on hearts. It's just kind of like, you want to be spending your tokens on stuff that you can do other cool stuff with. So we got an Oregon here. I'm not concerned about Oregon anyway, especially when we can fight him first. Bolaz Gal, he's got good stats, man. That's the only thing I will say about him. That was a defensive card, so I'm not necessarily super desiring grabbing it right now. We got another spawner. Let's look now. Other shorts get a +1. We could do something really awesome here. Let's put this. So odd slot -2. So put him in an even slot. And then in column 4, you get a +2. And then we'll throw this down there. And now we got incredible defense. And very good offense. So this raises an interesting thing where we could probably just, like, I think it's a 1/3 chance we get hit here when fighting this guy. Defense could be the key to having a really good run. And defense usually is the key in pretty much everything in life. You know, there's no way in hell... Oh, this is going to be a bad fight. There's no way in hell you're winning the NBA championship if you don't have a good defensive squad. You know, Super Bowl wins don't come from offense, even though literally they do. But defense is important. And we're going to do our best to do that. So we now have a bunch of cool effect cards here. So we got plasma ability. We can charge plasma attacks. So let's... I like the idea of having the short still in here. And then we also have fire attacks. So let's put that guy on there. And now you're going to see that we have a bunch of awesome attacks. And I believe we can change these by left-clicking. So we can zap this guy. Just zap him. Say goodnight to him. And now I'm feeling, like, really good about our current situation. Let's set up a taunt over there. And now they're going to run over and attempt to get that good. You're probably wondering, how do you charge up the special attacks? You just basically run around and uncover new places. And that will charge up your special attacks. Okay, so this is fine. A guy had good damage. This card might be the one for the chef, right? Yeah, the chef wants this guy. Spend a token to delay baddie reinforcements by 25 turns. Could be okay, but we don't need it. A blast bib, bottom row gets a +1. You know what? I will up our defense once more and remove offense. Our defense is now really freaking good. Well, let's decompose these right now. And then let's go back to the... So hold Q. Can't warp to the dome. We're too close to baddies. That's okay. Let's run back to the dorm. And by dorm, I definitely mean dome. I live in a college dorm, okay? let's give this card to old Sheffy. 2 extra card slots. Here you go, man. So now we can hold extra cards here, I suppose. I thought we were going to get extra cards in our thingamajiggy, which would basically just be a huge stat upgrade. But I guess that's not how that works. Might be a little bit overpowered, I suppose. But overall, we're doing, like, very good. I want to burn you. Beautiful. Burn is very good. And zap this guy real quick. Apparently, I zapped on the wrong spot. Never zap on the wrong spot, man. That guy's carrying a seahorse. Set up a taunt over there. And then, let's look at what we got. So, odd slot. Okay. We'll put that guy right here. And then we'll just decompose up those 2. This is just a normal short. I mean, we do want this in here. Our defense is starting to get off the chains, like, stupidly good. And I'm not positive that that's the best thing to be doing at this point. I mean, I think it's good, but that guy had ridiculous stats. Okay. Can we get a burn going down there? We're a little bit out of range. Burn that guy. And this might be a damage up that we might want. You know, our damage is pretty low. Yeah, this is going to be a +4 damage we put in even spot. So let's put that guy there. And then, I mean, I don't want to get rid of anything else, man. This is the problem with this game sometimes, is you don't want to get rid of bad cards. Or you don't want to get rid of good cards. That was a little sketchy, honestly. So what happens when we have 2 of these? I suppose maybe we get the chance of doing 2 plasma attacks? I'm not positive. Even slot is a +2 on the defense. Honestly, we don't want it right now. Let's just hold on to it. We can always choose to switch to a defensive build. Okay, so we've been here a while. We've used up our 350 turns. That means that the corpse mites are starting to show up. I'm not really positive what that means. I've never survived long enough to even run out of my turns. So I suppose that means that this run's going just A-okay for me right now. Is that the way out? Did we find the way out? That's a heal. I suppose I'm very okay with that, but we need to find our way out. There's the exit portal. So warp to the next area. Dude, we've done it. Peace out. So it looks like there's 5 levels. We're going to do our best to get through these. Yet I don't think it's going to happen. I am going to heal up. Heal fully for 4 tokens. That's a lot of tokens, man. I'm going to do it anyway. Just because. I don't know what any... Okay, that is a ridiculously strong enemy. I also don't know what that is. That was just a bomb. Okay. So how do ice tiles work? I see. You can't move on them. So you gotta, like... That forces us into here. I honestly think we're gonna try and fight this guy. Is that a good idea? I mean, it's gone okay. It actually went incredible. So he gave... This card used to belong to Keygrass before the Rascals stole it from them. Send it back. I don't know. Maybe that'll help us in the future on future runs. Chronoflage. Time is an illusion. Let's look real quick. Time is an illusion. Yo, I don't know what this does, so let's use it. God, I don't even know what I want to get rid of. It hurts our defense so much. What do you do, man? I want to know what that card does before we're using it, man. This... I think is actually better set here. So this doesn't even count as a card. I'm very confused by what is going on there. So bottom row +1. Even slot +2. We can rearrange a little bit to make this work. Top row. You can't be in the top row. So go there. You're still in the top row. Even slot. Go there. In column 4. Never mind. Even slot card. There we go. You're in an odd slot, though. In column 4, we can move you to here. This is where things start to get, like, okay, I'm starting to get a little bit, like, confused what's going on. I think that's a good setup. We got 15 offense and the 17 defense. You know, I don't know about you. I'm feeling 22, and that sounds like a pretty good stat line. Guy's got 19 defense. Enemies are starting to get harder. I will give you that. And also, this ice can screw off. This is very difficult to navigate. And I can see myself getting into fights that I do not want to get into. Which is probably the purpose of the ice, granted, but I need to get the hell away from this guy. We cannot fight a 33 guy at this stage of the game. That's a bomb. That's a bomb. This is going to so not end well for me. Get the hell out of there. Okay. I'll pass on that ever happening again. I don't want to step foot ever into that, by the way, because those guys just seem real nasty. We're exploring a crap ton right now. Just zap this guy. He blocked it. Zap him again. He blocked it again. Burn this guy and then attack him. So what's going on with you? Why are you weird? Chlora Obscura. I want to kill you. You're intriguing me ever so slightly. I know I'm probably wasting like a crap load of turns by just chasing this person around. She's totally melting all this ice. Am I going crazy, or is that definitely the case? There's no way of trapping you, huh? There's got to be a way that I'm just not... Okay, we're in an infinite loop. If there's one thing I know about computer programming, infinite loops mean you break the loop and you move on with your day. Now, that being said, it's not always the easiest thing to do while programming something, but that's beside the point. We're going to move on here. And frankly, there haven't been a butt ton of enemies on this floor, which I suppose is a huge positive for us. And that's the exit portal. Frankly, this guy is on defense now, and we did not get hit. I'm going to take this, and I'm going to move down. Now, that being said, pretty decent chance we're also going to, like, get wrecked on this floor due to the sheer amount of, like, horrible enemies there's going to be. There is going to be. Okay, what do we got here? I don't think we want any of these. Frankly, let's just, like, crank all of these into tokens. I still don't know what this does. You know what? Screw it. Let's put it right there. I don't know what you do, but maybe we'll figure it out. Fully heal for 8 tokens? We don't have 8 tokens. So, I suppose come back out. I guess now we have 8 tokens. I'd like to have a full heal before we go through here. 8 tokens is a lot of tokens, though. And that turns into a bomb. It's good to know. I didn't want to fight this guy. He just... Oh, we're actually done. Oh, dude, the defense carried us right there. This guy's a 1 on offense. I'm not overly concerned about that. This guy just actually killed... What in the world is going on? We got teleported? I'm very confused right now. Somebody SOS send help. I have no idea where I'm at now. Okay. So cool. We have another Chlora Amphigarden person. And we did kill her. Burn baddies? I would love to burn this guy. That was a little bit special. I really thought that we just straight up died there. And now we definitely did. Okay. Well. That's gonna do that. We're very dead. Rest in peace our entire inventory. And rest in peace that run. I'll be honest with you. That's the greatest run I've had in this. We made it to the 3rd floor. That's perfectly okay with me. That's going to do it for this episode. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. I am going to play a couple more runs of this and see if we can make our way all the way through the game. I like this game. It's kind of... It's weird because I've never been a big Hearthstone fan. And this game has a very Hearthstone-y feel to it because you spend a lot of time just working on your deck, trying to figure out what works and what doesn't. And I think what I gotta do to get better is just recognize when I should be putting defensive cards in and when I should be putting offensive cards in. You know, try to keep it balanced as much as you can. And then when you are in a certain area, switch to offense, switch to defense, and see if you can make things happen like that. But that's going to do it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to check out the game. I'll put a link in the description down below to the Steam page. It's available for $14.99, and it is honestly very good. I like it a lot. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!